Tonight on One News, the numbers are in for our latest One News variant poll and are tightening up. Who have the majority in the House?
Recognition of a Palestinian state as Australia goes all the way. The worst places in the country for heart care are revealed as our system on the verge of collapse. And just days after kicking up a fuss about having to wear high-vis on the city rail link, Winston Peters kicks off Rail Safety Week. And we now know what the first major event will be at Christchurch's new covered stadium and when it'll be happening. Kia ora, this is 3 News. The government has just announced that New Zealand will consider formal recognition of a Palestinian state. It follows Australia's announcement this afternoon that it will recognise Palestine at a United Nations meeting next month. Political correspondent Zane Small has been following developments and is with us now live from Parliament. Zane, why no actual decision from our government?
Well, we first learned about this afternoon in a statement released by Winston Peters, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and it seems to suggest that there isn't a consensus yet among Cabinet about this issue. The statement says there are a broad range of strongly held views within our government, Parliament and indeed New Zealand society over the question of recognition of a Palestinian state. The Prime Minister just held a press conference here and he wouldn't confirm whether there was disagreement within Cabinet, but he said the government will make a final decision next month and it will be communicated by Winston Peters to the United Nations in New York. Now, as you mentioned, Australia has already confirmed that it will recognise a Palestinian state. Canada and France have also done the same. And the government is already copping criticism from the Greens and other pro-Palestine groups for delaying its decision. Here's what the Prime Minister had to say this afternoon.
What are your main concerns with recognising a state of Palestine?
Well, it's just, no, it's important that it's a complex decision. There are a range of views on all sides of the debate. It's important that we make our own decision as New Zealand. We have an independent foreign policy. It's important that we weigh it up seriously. It's a complex issue, and I think we've got a good process to work our way through that decision. But I just say to you, what we're really fixated on is, we are seeing a humanitarian catastrophe in Gaza. We are seeing Hamas hold hostages that should be released. We're seeing no evidence of a ceasefire emerging at this point in time. There's good efforts going on from the US. There's good efforts going on from other Arab states as well. We want to encourage that, but the bottom line is that hasn't materialised. And so, what we really need to see is a stop to the suffering.
Now, it's worth remembering that New Zealand already supports a two-state solution for Israel and Palestine, but this will be the first time that New Zealand formally recognises a Palestinian state. And the Prime Minister says that Hamas, the group that attacked Israel in October 2023 and sparked the war in Gaza, must have no role in a Palestinian state that New Zealand recognises.
Zane Small live from us there from Parliament. Zane, thank you very much for those details. Well, senior UN officials have warned that Benjamin Netanyahu's plan to expand the offensive in Gaza risks unleashing another calamity on a territory already experiencing what they described as starvation, pure and simple. But Israel's Prime Minister dismissed reports of starvation as fake news and claims he does not want to occupy Gaza, but free it from Hamas. Channel 4's Kieran Jenkins reports.
But we have two remaining strongholds.
Under pressure and growing isolation. Benjamin Netanyahu, speaking quite deliberately in English, made his case to the world, defending his plan to expand the war in Gaza.
Contrary to false claims, this is the best way to end the war and the best way to end it speedily.
And claiming the international press, which Israel has not allowed to operate independently in Gaza, had lied about claims of starvation there. At the very same moment in New York, Netanyahu faced international condemnation. A joint statement from the UN Security Council's European members, including Britain and France, opposing the Israeli military expansion and the very real starvation in Gaza.
Good morning, everybody. The IPC has warned that famine is unfolding in Gaza. Children are dying from starvation. Hunger is so severe that desperate civilians are taking the risk of getting killed at aid distribution sites in order to feed their families.
There followed an emergency session of the Security Council in which the fractures between Europe and the US are now ever more public and ever more clear.
This is not a path to resolution. It is a path to more bloodshed.
The United States supports Israel's right to defend itself against Hamas's terrorism. And ultimately, Israel has a right to decide what is necessary for its security and what measures are appropriate to end the threat posed by Hamas and other similar groups.
And yet, Gaza's starving population now faces the prospect of even worse to come, with Israel planning military escalation and total control of Gaza City. In Tel Aviv last night, tens of thousands took to the streets to oppose the war plans. Some are calling for a general strike, or for IDF soldiers to refuse to carry out the expansion. There are even reports the head of the IDF himself, Ayal Zamir, only in post since March, is against the plans. But the pressure on Prime Minister Netanyahu is coming from all directions. The far right, who are keeping him in power, think the plans don't go far enough. Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich went on camera to say he's lost faith in Netanyahu's desire to win the war. Israel's most watched reality TV show hasn't even been immune from the growing sense of unrest. Anti-war activists disrupted the broadcast of Big Brother on Channel 13 wearing Leave Gaza t-shirts. Families of the hostages still held by Hamas believe Prime Minister Netanyahu's plans are putting their loved ones in greater danger.
We need a deal to end this war and save them.
At home and abroad, Netanyahu is facing growing calls to change course, although not yet from the one place that really matters, the White House in Washington, D.C.
Al Jazeera says 5 of its staff have been killed in what the broadcaster says was a targeted attack on a tent housing journalists in Gaza City. 7 people were killed in the attack on a tent outside the Al Shifa hospital this morning, including Al Jazeera correspondents Anas Al-Sharif and Mohammed Kreke, and camera operators Ibrahim Zahir, Mohammed Nufal and Muammar Aliwa. Now, shortly before his death, Al-Sharif, a well-known 28-year-old correspondent who had reported extensively from Gaza, wrote on X that Israel had launched intense concentrated bombardment, also known as fire belts, on the eastern and southern parts of Gaza City. Police in London have arrested 365 supporters of the recently banned protest group Palestine Action. It's been a crime since last month to publicly support Palestine Action, which was declared a terrorist organisation after members broke into a Royal Air Force base and spray-painted 2 planes. Activists were intentionally flouting the law over the weekend as part of the effort to force the government to reconsider the ban. Palestine Action had previously targeted Israeli defence contractors and other sites in the UK that they believe have links with the Israeli military. A new report warns New Zealand's heart care system is dangerously close to collapse. It's found that in many parts of the country, access to heart health care is alarmingly limited. Ava Whitworth has the story.
Half of all heart attack patients aren't receiving treatment quickly enough, a new University of Otago report shows. Deb Inder knows the consequences all too well. Her father, Walter Ross Inder, fell seriously ill last year in Blenheim, a region with no cardiologist available.
As soon as he got sick and we realised that what he needed was an angiogram, which was unable to be performed at Waiha Hospital.
Walter was flown from Blenheim to Wellington Hospital, then Nelson Hospital.
He was messaging me and my mother from the tarmac in the aeroplane. He ended up in Nelson Hospital and my mother, who's 84, had to drive over to Nelson, which is a 2-hour drive.
Heart health advocate Letitia Harding says those at the front line of the public system need the support most.
Those private hospitals, although shiny and new, they're not going to be taking patients at 3 a.m. in the morning with a heart attack.
And what does she think will happen if they don't get support?
We will see further decline in those areas at risk in particular. So further decline in patients getting timely angiograms when they've had a heart attack, and ultimately we'll be seeing patient deaths increase.
The regions with the highest death rates are Lakes in central North Island, Tairāwhiti, Wanganui and Taranaki. They also have the lowest number of cardiologists. Letitia Harding says it's crucial that a patient gets a full range of tests soon after a heart attack.
Getting them into the hospital to have an angiogram within 3 days. Some of those regions, only 27% are actually meeting that criteria.
Wellington cardiologist Dr. Sarah Feely says the biggest challenge is a lack of beds for the whole health system. So what happens when the hospitals do get the beds they need?
And what we need is specific numbers of allocated beds that are protected for our patients.
New Zealand only has 183 cardiologists, roughly a third of what's needed. But when pressed on how many new cardiologists are needed or when shortages might be filled, Health Minister Simeon Brown didn't provide a specific number or timeline.
I think the health workforce plan identifies this as being a priority area. It's going to require concerted effort. That's why the Cardiac National Clinical Network's been established to identify those issues and address it.
Minister Simeon Brown highlighted ongoing work training 26 cardiac sonographers here in New Zealand, a role that was previously trained overseas, and pointed to the government's wider investment that's brought 600 more doctors and 2,100 more nurses into the system since being in office. But Deb Inder says until we see some real change, families can expect and be prepared for a black hole of information.
90 police officers from around New Zealand have been deployed to Northland to free up resources to carry out 4 separate homicide investigations after a total of 9 killings this year. Senior officers say the 3 deployments of 30 have been to unblock the bottleneck of work that the homicide investigations have caused. Adam Hollingworth reports.
The 4 most recent Northland homicides, including the killing of a 3-year-old girl, were separated by around 2 weeks, which Superintendent Matt Sahoy says is unprecedented.
The level and the amount of hours that have to go into investigating those is quite significant, and obviously that was really put us, at our capacity. So we put the call out, obviously, to get some assistance.
The police have been trying to recruit new officers to Northland with limited success. Whangare is okay, but further north needed reinforcements. More coincidence than crisis?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, there was, some of these things are random. There's been various, causes behind these. None of them are intrinsically linked.
And yet, drain water tests show growing drug use in towns like Kaikohe and Kaitaia, one of several social problems, according to those on the coalface at Ngāti Hine Health Trust.
Use of methamphetamine is on the increase. Mental health is on the increase. We also see an increase in family violence. And an ongoing need for housing.
Tamati Shepherd Wipiiti says he'd welcome more police permanently because his staff are swamped, especially with young people.
The mental health and drug addiction is a crisis, and I know that next door to us, Ngāpuhi have been very clear about that. We see similar patterns in our area.
Far North Mayor Moko Tepanya wants the extra police to stay.
I shy away from using the term crisis because what I don't want to perpetuate is the narrative that the far north, my home, is somewhere unsafe or unfit for our people. It's a beautiful place to live, but we do have our challenges, and those challenges are more than other areas of Aotearoa New Zealand, of course.
Police say the current deployments from outside district are unsustainable, but the Far North Mayor says locals want more permanent officers so they can finally have confidence the police will come in an emergency.
My district itself is over 3 hours long and 2 hours wide, so that geographic size really gets to you, and our communities need to know that police are going to be ready and able to respond accordingly to keep them safe.
We'd love to be able to attend everything immediately, but depending on what's going on at any given time, there can be delays.
Police Minister Mark Mitchell says he's doing what he can to ensure police are backed with tools and resources, including the capacity to surge staff into areas like Northland.
Well, just ahead on 3 News, why two's company but three's a conundrum when it comes to Ukraine peace talks in Alaska at the end of the week. And last week he wouldn't wear one. This week Winston Peters is doubling down on his high-vis vest issues. We'll explain after the break.
Three remaining teams in the galaxy.
Who will be crowned
The winner of Grandmasters of the Galaxy.
Lego Masters Australia tonight, 7:30 on 3 and 3 Now.
I used to do bad things for money. I'm retired, except you didn't. Otherwise, you would never have taken the job to kill me. Which I did not do, so you should probably get some credit for that.
The Assassin. Stream every episode on 3 Now.
Grab a free iconic key. Red Dot sale is on now. There's 50% off Red Dot clothing, 60% off Red Dot for your home, 40% off Red Dot beauty, lingerie and men's underwear, and great deals on Red Dot toys and Lego. Farmers Red Dot sale is on now.
1 in 3 people will get cancer in their lifetime. The 1 in 3 could be me, you, or someone you love. So donate this Daffodil Day.
Because the 1 in 3 could be me.
With Scenic, it's more than an all-inclusive river cruise in the renowned Bordeaux wine region. It's luxurious suites with butler service. It's premium beverages, up to 5 dining experiences, and an on-board cooking school. It's your choice of excursions and exclusive events for a journey of a lifetime. Scenic, in a class of its own. Book now to save $3,000 per person and receive a bonus hotel night in Bordeaux.
Repco's where performance meets reliability every single time. Right now, get 20% off Repco 30 and 40-month warranty batteries. And Castrol Edge 5W35 litre is just $50. Pure power in a bottle. Catalogue out now. Repco. Get you going.
What's Nanya?
Oh, Nanya. That's none of your business.
Shop safer online with new dynamic security code. This Father's Day, give Dad a photo gift from Snapfish. Show why he's the greatest. Create a stunning photo book from only $9.95. Or give a fun photo mug for just $5.95. Ready to make Father's Day fantastic? Go to snapfish.co.nz.
Gloves?
Yeah, you can wear gloves.
Sure.
Deal.
Hope you won. Same.
Winston Peters has used the launch of Rail Safety Week to launch an attack on the pointless use of high-vis safety vests. It comes after the Minister for Rail initially refused to wear one during a visit to the under-construction City Rail link last Friday. Here's Lloyd Burr.
Parliament playing host to Rail Safety Week. The new slogan, stay off, stay safe. But how safe is too safe? The Minister for Rail saying rules have gone too far.
Safety is critically important, and we must never trivialise it. Dressing up as workers when the risk is so patently low risks turning safety into a joke.
Winston Peters referring to his behaviour on Friday, reluctant to wear a high-vis vest for a City Rail link visit.
It's just for protection. No, mate, I'm not going on a train ride. I'm not putting on stuff I don't need.
That's the chief executive of the CRL he's arguing with, one of many that day. He eventually gave in and put one on, even getting the finance minister's attention.
I don't think I've ever seen you in high-vis.
Look,
There's no reason for us to be wearing this, but this will conform me.
Stuff published the footage, which didn't exactly go down well with Peters, who voiced his frustration today in a room full of rail professionals.
Now, many in this room will be health and safety professionals. Now, you may have watched footage on Friday as we asked Patrick Brocky Chief Executive of City Rail Limited, much to the enjoyment of Lloyd Burr, who thought this was a story, to explain why safety clothing was required at the City Rail link. We were nowhere near flying debris, apart from, of course, the media kind that was about to descend on the public of this country.
So we descended on Peters to clarify.
How important is wearing, personal protective equipment like high vis?
Oh, when it's warranted, it's very important.
What about around active rail lines and areas under construction?
No. When you're going on a train ride, can you please explain to me why people are wearing a helmet inside the train and glasses? On examination, it was totally not needed at all.
His boss agreeing with him.
Yeah, I have to be honest, it was a bit unusual that we were in high-vis with hats and safety glasses on a train. That's actually a very nicely worked train and underground. But, I didn't give it any thought. I whacked the gear on, get on the train.
There were plenty of people in high-vis at the Rail Safety Week launch. What do they think?
Is PPE gear like this important?
Yes, very important, in the rail industry.
Why are you wearing a high-vis jacket today?
Because I work in rail. I'm the head of on board for Transdev in Wellington. Yeah, and we always wear high-vis.
What did you make of the Minister trivialising high-vis jackets?
I think he was just maybe new to the environment. I think if you're not from the rail, if you're not in rail, you probably don't have a fair understanding of how important the PPE is.
This is why Rail Safety Week is so important. Far too many people walk on or across rail lines without knowing how dangerous they can be.
Rail Safety Week is really important, but rail safety is important every day, every week, every year, but today is our big launch.
The Rail Minister using it to launch into a health and safety tirade.
Did he trivialise it?
Well, look, it's not for me to say. He was talking about operational safety. We're talking about public safety, people out there on the network. So that's our focus today.
Was it the wrong thing to do, given it's Rail Safety Week this week? Was it set the wrong
No, look, your story failed last week.
Not exactly going off the rails, but certainly taking an interesting track.
Volodymyr Zelensky may be conspicuous by his absence in this week's talks in Alaska between Presidents Trump and Putin, but the prospect of a future meeting between all three has been raised. US Vice President J.D. Vance said during an interview on Fox News that the US wants to schedule such a meeting and went so far as to say it was now just a matter of scheduling. Channel 4's Simeon Brown has more.
These are Ukraine's newest recruits in a conflict at a crossroads. This Friday, President Trump will host President Putin on American soil. But in these peace talks, 2 is company and 3 is a conundrum.
We are preparing intensively for this meeting at European level, together with the American government. And we hope and assume that the government of Ukraine, that President Zelensky, will be involved in this meeting. In any case, we cannot accept that territorial issues between Russia and America are discussed or even decided over the heads of Europeans and Ukrainians.
But last week, President Trump hinted that an agreement could entail the loss of Ukrainian territory, which President Zelensky has long fought against.
We will not allow this second attempt to partition Ukraine. Knowing Russia, where there is a second, there will be a third. That is why we stand firm on clear Ukrainian positions.
This defiant response to the Alaska meeting is part of a pattern of working difficulties with Washington.
You're gambling with the lives of millions of people.
In February, President Zelensky was famously kicked out of talks with his country's largest single donor, who plan to turn off the tap if a deal cannot be reached.
Americans, I think, are sick of continuing to send their money, their tax dollars to this particular conflict. But if the Europeans want to step up and actually buy the weapons from American producers, we're okay with that, but we're not going to fund it ourselves anymore.
This is the Vice President with the Foreign Secretary, David Lammy. But their happy transatlantic relationship will be under pressure if a deal agreed by Russia and the US is unacceptable in Europe. This is Zaporizhzhia today, a region partially occupied by Russia, still under attack. What does the deal mean here?
I mean, I'm here now, and what I can tell you is it's really mixed messages. They're really tired. They're really sick of the war. But they really are concerned about Zaporizhzhia and Kherson because they're very important areas of Ukraine, particularly for mineral wealth.
There are big questions facing the Alaska meeting. Washington now says it's working on talks between Ukraine and Russia. So will President Zelensky appear?
Vladimir Putin said that he would never sit down with Zelensky, the head of Ukraine, and the president has now got that to change. We're at a point now where we're now trying to figure out, frankly, scheduling and things like that around when these three leaders could sit down and discuss an end to this conflict.
As it stands, Ukraine's president will not be at the table. The problem is his country is firmly on the menu.
Ahead on 3 News, the People's Select Committee convenes. After the break, we find out what it's all about and speak to one of the formidable women behind it. And later in sport, East Fiji does it again. He is still NASCAR's king of the road. And after that, they were the world's first cartoon pop group. We go behind the scenes of a new exhibition about the gorillas.
12 weeks of preparation, now it's time for action.
It's the final showdown.
May the best team win. This is gonna get spicy.
And all their hard work
brutal
comes...
All right, guys, let's do it.
Down.
We better win.
To...
That's why we came back to do this, to get that feeling.
This.
Fight on 3. 1, 2, 3, fight!
Brought to you by the all-new Suzuki Franks. Game on. Tuesday, 7:30 on 3 and 3 Now.
Wait, is this an ad for Toyota?
Don't know, can't see it yet.
No, not this. Look, Toyotas, all of them. I reckon it's an ad. Definitely could be a Toyota ad.
If it is an ad, it's a pretty boring one.
You could have at least cleaned the Hilux for it.
I needed to wash Rodney.
We could be the first couple who never want to own a car to be in a car ad.
I want to own a car.
What? So what do you reckon?
Definitely an ad.
It can't be, Dad. We're on a test drive.
Well, it is a Toyota certified used CHR.
Well, that sounds like an ad.
Hydrogen car, miss. That's an unlikely coincidence.
Sure is. I hope they get my good side.
Are you flexing?
They'd want to show a happy family in a fully electric car, wouldn't they?
Dad, they would just use famous people.
Like Dame Lisa Carrington.
It's looking so cringe, Dad.
And Sir Dave Dobbin.
Come on, it's got to be a Toyota ad.
Nah, it's just New Zealand.
What's with the music thing?
Just taking a well-earned coffee break when disaster strikes again.
Oh, what's wrong, hun?
Breakups are the worst.
Here, have this.
This is great.
Coffee, tea, milk and biscuits.
And it's fair trade too. Solving all the world's problems today.
The heart of a workplace is shaped by 1,000 tiny moments, and you're there for all of it. So are we. Office Max.
Bluey's back at Bunnings, and it's time for Hammer Barn again. You'll find characters hiding in their favourite Hammer Barn spots.
Aisle 300, if you've hit the flamingos, you've gone too far.
So, pop into your local Bunnings to check it out.
So, what's your induction plan for the new hire?
I know, right?
First impressions matter, so Brenda springs into action.
Hello. Smartly now do people admin too. His IRD and payroll already sorted. Docs and licenses uploading. And everyone's notified about what they need to do when he starts.
Join over 22,000 businesses sorting payroll and people admin with Smartly.
A great night's sleep can make all the difference. It can be the difference between having dreams and making them come true. A great night's sleep, night after night after night. That is the difference. The difference is temper.
From simplicity comes invention. Cheese meets dough, a timeless dance, imagined anew. The new cheese-encrusted triple cheese stuffed crust. Only at Pizza Hut.
This is 3 News. If you've just joined us, here are the top stories so far tonight. Our government's announced it's considering formal recognition of a Palestinian state as Australia goes all the way. A new Otago University report warns New Zealand's heart care system is dangerously close to collapse. And 90 police officers from around New Zealand are deployed to Northland after a surge in homicides. A magnitude 6.1 earthquake has struck Turkey's northwestern province of Balıkesir, killing at least one person and causing more than a dozen buildings to collapse. Officials say at least 29 people have been injured, and the earthquake, with an epicentre in the town of Sinirligü, sent shocks that were felt some 200 kilometres to the north in Istanbul, a city of more than 16 million people. An elderly woman died shortly after being pulled out alive from the debris of a building collapsed in Sinirligü. 4 other people were rescued from that same building. The so-called People's Select Committee has been hearing submissions on changes to the Equal Pay Amendment Bill that was pushed through Parliament urgently earlier this year. The controversial legislation raises the threshold for proving work has been historically undervalued when making a pay equity claim. Now, most bills typically go to a select committee after the first reading for a detailed examination, which might include public submissions. When the amendment bill didn't go through that process, protests erupted around the country. Former National MP Dame Marilyn Waring, along with 9 other female former MPs, were upset by the lack of debate and set up the People's Select Committee so interested parties could have their say. Well, earlier I spoke to Dame Marilyn and asked her why she felt it so necessary for the public to have its say.
It's a very important issue, pay equity, and to a very large number of people. And to abrogate the parliamentary democratic responsibility of consultation, of select committee hearings, of seeing the passage of a bill through the House not under urgency, and especially the retrospectivity of the law, meant that there was simply no participation. Effectively, the government talked to itself and agreed with itself and then passed the legislation.
So what response did you get when you announced you were going to do this?
Well, I began to call women I knew who had been former members of Parliament, and the first 3 calls, everybody said yes. So I thought, heavens, now we only need 6 more. And they almost immediately said yes. And I was looking for a very balanced team that in some way replicated the current balance of the House. So then we set up our website, and we have had 1,600 submissions, and those submissions are very serious. They're very textured. People have taken a lot of time with them and made a lot of effort. And we hope to report back to New Zealanders in late January 2026 on the evidence that's been put in front of us.
What then do you expect to be done with the findings? Do you hope these will actually have an impact?
I think they will have impact. Really rigorous research does have impact. It will inform people. It will break down the kind of cliched throwaway lines that people have about comparators and how those operate. We'll be reporting on how this has affected the lives of over 200,000 employees, most of them employed by the government, most of them poorly paid women. So it's very important for us to bring this evidence into the public view.
Well, Mitch is here now with what's coming up in sport. And Mitch, Shane van Gisbergen's winning streak just continues.
Yeah, that's right, Imo. SVG just continuing to show the Americans how it's done. That's now his 4th win in a row on the road, and no NASCAR rookie has ever achieved that before. So we'll have more on Shane van Gisbergen's big win next. And then Grace Nowicki's Silver Ferns return is confirmed as Dame Nolene Tautua names her first squad of 2025. Plus, 10 teams, 5 games, 1 weekend. Super Rugby's Super Round is heading to Christchurch's new stadium.
The home of MotoGP. Stream free on 3Now.
Settle in for a scorcher with hot and spicy, only at KFC.
There are easy ways to save hundreds on power bills this winter, like turning off unused appliances Especially the ones you might have forgotten were even on.
Things are changing for you, baby, which changes everything. Even protecting your skin from irritation is challenging. That's why we've changed too. New Huggies nappy pants with better coverage that's wet to dry in 10 seconds. So one thing that doesn't change is your soft skin.
Trade me property. Most properties, more choice.
Upgrade to energy-efficient appliances at Harvey Norman and you could save on electricity costs. The more stars, the more energy savings. If you own an older 2-star appliance, the latest technology makes new appliances far more energy efficient. See how much you could save. Find the perfect appliance for your needs. Talk to our knowledgeable staff in store. The more stars, the more energy savings. Upgrade to energy-efficient appliances at Harvey Norman now.
Resene has been voted New Zealand's most trusted paint brand every year for the last 14 years. Resene, the paint Kiwis trust for years and years.
Righteous anger is when you argued about something and you compromised. But then you see what you would have bought driving right past. And he realizes he's made a mistake. Because that's when you both know. You get more in a Mazda.
At Godfrey Hirst and Feltix, we know that some of New Zealand's best events only happen once a year, like the Great New Zealand Muster. Only in New Zealand and only once a year. And the Waihi Beach New Year's Day races. Cromwell's Light Up Winter Festival. And the Awakuni Carrot Carnival. And of course, the Godfrey Hirst and Feltix nationwide flooring sale. Only in New Zealand and only once a year.
You just say, and then I'll do another we'll harmonise. Say,
The Inspired, Unemployed, Impractical Jokers, Thursday, 8:30 on 3 and 3 Now.
Legendary Journeys with Suzuki Jimny 5-door and 3News Sport.
It failed to make a mark in Melbourne, but Super Rugby bosses are confident the return of a Super Round can work in Christchurch next year. The timing couldn't be better, with the 3-day rugby bonanza set to be the first major sporting event to take place in the city's brand new One New Zealand Stadium over Anzac weekend. Gordon Finlater got a look inside the nearly completed venue.
Christchurch and Super Rugby's worst kept secret is out in the open.
It's a multi-use arena, so it's for everybody in the region, but pretty special to start with a game of footy, I think. It's in our DNA.
Not just one game of footy, but 5. 10 of Super Rugby's 11 teams descending on Christchurch over Anzac weekend for a Super Round.
I just think it's a great confluence of opportunity. You know, we wanted to bring back Super Round. The stadium was opening. We've got a long weekend, so we get to bring all of our Anzac Day fixtures together. Like, you know, it just sort of felt like it was made to happen.
It's not the first time a Super Round has been tried. Between 2022 and 2024, it received lacklustre support in Melbourne. It's hoped the new 25,000-seat centrepiece of Christchurch can draw much larger attendances.
We want people to come to Christchurch and be able to get that full experience. You know, have a beer up near Riverside there, walk down to the stadium.
Yes, much has been made of the new stadium's proximity to Christchurch's bars and restaurants. So, let's put that theory to the test. I've just set my stopwatch on. Let's find out just how close it is. It's a simple walk even for out-of-towners. From the terrace, just follow the tram tracks down Cashel Street, then onto High and Litchfield Streets, and before you know it, here we are in just a tick over 8 minutes. Now that has got to be the envy of every other city in New Zealand.
Actually, if you come from Auckland and you've had to put up with a stadium up there for a while, you'd probably be quite keen to get down here and come to a decent national stadium, I would have thought.
Fixtures for the weekend are yet to be announced. However, it's been confirmed the hometowners, go the Crusaders, will kick things off on Friday night.
There's a few different teams that like to play. I'd say the Chiefs will be up there, the Chiefs and the Blues will be up there, but even a Southern Derby will be pretty special.
The return of a Super Round is a trial at this stage. Christchurch locked in for just 1 year.
Once it gets momentum and people see how good the whole place works, middle of town, walk to the bars, walk to Hospo, they'll be queuing at the gate.
With a roof over its head, a Super Round might just be here to stay.
Shane van Gisbergen's increasingly hard to stop on the roads of NASCAR. The Kiwi picked up his 4th win of the season at Watkins Glen this morning, the only rookie to ever achieve the feat. After starting from 2nd on the grid, van Gisbergen led for the last 13 laps to seal an emotional victory. This seems to be the new normal for Shane van Gisbergen in NASCAR. Another win on the road, his 4th in a row this season.
The day just went flawlessly and I can't believe it, really enjoyed it.
Unlike van Gisbergen's previous wins, this time he had to do it from 2nd on the grid, and he wasn't stressing early.
SVG later said in the conversation, "I'm just hanging out, Steve, saving my rear tires."
After a restart, SVG took his opportunity, moving to the front of the pack a third of the way through the race.
Inside SVG. Fresher tires, faster car.
Van Gisbergen would hold that position for 38 of the 90 laps, and with only 3 yellow flags, it was a day of relatively clean racing. A contrast to yesterday's Xfinity Cup event and 2024 at Watkins Glen, where Van Gisbergen lost the lead on the last lap.
It certainly makes up for it, and then I went to bed pretty angry yesterday, you know, to junk a car and have another DNF. It was, yeah, I was pretty angry, sad last night, so nice to just clear the head this morning and come here and just have a great day.
SVG in the end wasn't even challenged, flying home with a 10-second gap between 1st and 2nd. Today's win all the more special with his dad Robert watching trackside for the first time this year.
It's been pretty difficult. He lost his wife, my mother, and then his sister, and then his mum a month or so ago. So it's been a really rough run for Dad, and yeah, it's hard to support him when I'm on the other side of the world. That's probably why I'm the most homesick, you know.
Hope that the winning run can continue while Dad is stateside and be there for that elusive oval win.
I'd love to have a good result with him the next couple of weeks, and you know, he's driving the bus for me with his friend Jason to those races, and yeah, it's just I'll probably drive to Daytona with him, and yeah, it'll be a good time, you know, like we used to do.
Shane van Gisbergen continuing to rip up in NASCAR with plenty of aspiration to keep kicking his opposition into touch. To IndyCar, and Scott Dixon wasn't having as much luck at the Portland Grand Prix. His hopes were dashed after being handed a drive-through penalty for making contact on the 84th lap. That took Joseph Newgarden out of contention, Dixon ending up finishing 11th. Scott McLaughlin was the best out of the Kiwis, finishing in 7th. Grace Nowicki headlines a new-look Silver Fern side with 6 potential debutantes. Nowicki returns after playing in Australia's Super Netball competition this year and was able to be selected with Netball New Zealand's updated eligibility criteria. She will have some fresh faces in the shooting circle, with Phil DeVuy, Martina Salmon and Xavier Tui also receiving call-ups. Coach Nolene Todor has also named defenders Catherine Hall, Karis Stith and Kate Burley for the first time. The Silver Fern season gets underway next month against South Africa. Kiwi cyclist Corbin Strong is continuing to turn heads after taking out the Arctic race of Norway overnight. The Southlander finished 2nd on the final stage in Tromsø, but extended his lead over British Olympian Tom Pidcock to 11 seconds. Strong says he exceeded his own expectations and didn't think a win was on the cards.
I was really nervous for today, and then the first few laps were even more out of control and harder than I expected, but my team was just incredible today. We were first, 4th, 9th and 15th from GC coming into today, so we have an incredibly strong team here.
It's Strong's 2nd global classification win in a fortnight, after also taking out Belgium's Tour de Wallonie. Justin Rose has become the oldest European player to win on the PGA Tour, taking out the FedEx St. Jude Championship in Memphis in a playoff. Rose saved his best for last, producing 4 birdies through the final 5 holes to set up a playoff with JJ Spawn. Little separated the pair until the 3rd playoff hole, Spawn needing this to force a 4th hole.
And Justin Rose was down and out. 4 down through 12 holes. Today in the final round, he comes roaring back.
The win moves Rose to 4th in the playoff race with 2 events remaining. Ryan Fox finished the event tied for 50th and is 34th in the FedEx Cup race. And Crystal Palace waited a long time for their first ever trophy. That was the FA Cup win over Manchester City at Wembley in May. Today they nabbed their 2nd, again at Wembley, beating Liverpool on penalties to lift the Community Shield, as Chris Scudder reports.
On a day of community, time to reflect, remember and pay tribute to a lost legend, Liverpool's first competitive match since the tragic passing of Diogo Jota. Palace fans brought the pyrotechnics, but champions Liverpool brought the firepower.
Ekitike with the shot.
An early goal on his debut for new signing Hugo Ekitike. But that was just the start of the fireworks. Penalty to Palace, scored by Jean-Philippe Mateta.
Alisson and scores.
Then poignantly, exactly on 20 minutes, as Liverpool's fans applauded their lost number 20 Diogo Jota. A goal from Jeremy Frimpong, just maybe with some heavenly help.
And you wonder if the number 20 was looking down at that moment.
But back came Palace for a second time, and Ismail Assar's goal took the match to another penalty shootout. You'd put your house on Mo Salah scoring, but he almost put his kick over the roof. It was catching. 2 more from both sides missed as well. And youngster Justin Devaney won it for Palace. They will not ever forget 2025.
And he lifts it high above his head.
Crystal Palace just can't get anything wrong at the moment, can they? They'll be stoked about that.
No, and especially heading into Premier League season, which kicks off this weekend. As an Arsenal fan, I'm very excited for it. Mitch, thank you so much for sport. Well, 25 years after musician Damon Albarn and artist Jamie Hewlett created the world's first virtual cartoon pop group, there's a new Gorillaz exhibition about to open at the Olympic Park in London, ahead of some already sold-out concerts. Channel 4's Krishnan Gurumurthy went to see the pair as they were putting the finishing touches to the House of Kong show.
It's 25 years since Gorillaz shattered notions of what a band could be musically and conceptually. The House of Kong celebrates the twisted and captivating world devised by illustrator Jamie Hewlett and his friend Damon Albarn.
These two, I believe, are the first real finished drawings.
It's not a standard exhibition where you go around looking at pictures and listening to music. It starts off that, but then it becomes immersive and you go into the world of the characters.
Somewhere between order and chaos, there is another world. An exhibition like no other.
One of the other things about Gorillaz is collaboration. I mean,
That's the essence of it, really. Everything is about working with people.
We have a giant wall in the exhibition at the end, which is the collaborators' wall.
On that amazing wall of talent, Noel Gallagher, Damon's former Britpop rival, who ended up playing with Gorillaz. Albarn is also taking part this year in the Together for Palestine concert, organised by Brian Eno to raise money for Gaza.
It's about not denying the legitimacy of Palestine, not denying the historical presence of Palestinians, and recognising the genocide that is taking place there.
If you think back 25 years, did you ever think Gorillaz would still be a thing now?
I don't think either of us could have imagined a sort of retrospective exhibition that seems, at that time, would have seemed sort of implausible and faintly ridiculous.
And there was a lot of like, yeah, that's for kids, this sort of thing that you're doing. It's not rock and roll, it's not the 90s sort of Britpop scene. And 25 years later, it's still relevant. And the importance of animated characters, avatars, in our culture today compared to 25 years ago is even stronger.
Well, it was a brisk start to the week, and as you can see here, those frosty starts and chilly days are locking in, and they are here to stay. The good news, though, is there's not a lot of rainfall forecast, but plenty of sunny skies instead. I'll have your full forecast after the break.
Being a bit average out there? Cost of living, cooks, schools, struggling, politicians? Don't get me started. So I am back with Karen O'Leary on a mission to do something about it. Let's give our awesome little islands a kick up the bum, eh?
Paddy Gower Has Issues starts Tuesday, August 19 on 3 and 3 Now.
Got a leak? CRC Leak Stop Spray Seal is easy to use and provides a waterproof seal to almost any surface. Bridging gaps and cracks, it offers a flexible, durable, long-lasting solution to leaks. The 360-degree spray system allows the can to be used at any angle, ideal for hard-to-reach places. Find CRC Leak Stop Spray Seal at a store near you.
Bubbles for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great choice. Great choice.
Air New Zealand, your favourite way to Aussie.
Protect your home and contents with AMI. Get a $200 Prezi card when you insure both before the end of September. Visit ami.co.nz or call 0800 100 200. T's and C's apply. AMI, on your side.
From simplicity comes invention. Cheese meets dough, a timeless dance, imagined anew. The new cheese-encrusted triple cheese stuffed crust. Only at Pizza Hut.
Join over 22,000 Kiwi businesses using Smartly to sort payroll and people admin. With the #1 rated customer support team, help is only a call away. Make people your superpower.
It's the time of the season for loving.
You could win $100,000 towards your ANZ home loan.
Forgot this. Love you, Dad.
There's a glass and a half in everyone.
The Kia EV range. EV9. EV6. EV5. And now, introducing the award-winning EV3. The SUV that redefines confidence with up to 600 kilometres of range. The Kia EV3. No compromises, just pure electric freedom. Test drive today.
Kia. Movement that inspires.
This Father's Day, give Dad a Snapfish photo gift that shows why he's a star, like a stunning photo book from only $9.95, or give a hug on a fleece blanket from $29.95. For gifts that'll make Father's Day fantastic, go to Snapfish today.
Powerball's at 4 million. You know what that means? There's a brand new multi-millionaire out there.
I wonder what they're doing right now.
I bet they can't believe their luck.
Imagine winning $4 million this Wednesday. Get your Powerball ticket in-store or online.
AMI has been protecting New Zealanders, rain, hail or shine for almost 100 years. AMI bringing you 3 News weather.
No mai anō, those chilly weekend temperatures have followed us into this new week. We're currently sandwiched between a ridge of high pressure over the south and a low pressure system sitting off to the northeast, and that pairing is driving those cold sou'easters across the motu. Still plenty though of lovely wintry sunshine for the west coast, but basically everywhere else here is in for cloud and showers tomorrow, and there's quite a bit of the cloudy showery stuff around in the North Island tomorrow as well. It'll be a fine day though, right up top, with the same for Auckland, but otherwise the rest are in for cloudy days with a chance of showers in the evening, and everyone here is getting a dose of those chilly sou'easters. Now it is going to be frosty starts across the board. Tauranga, you're the lucky one, hitting 5 degrees tomorrow morning. Then from the afternoon we'll start to see cloud roll in pretty much everywhere, with showers hitting most as well. Sou'easters here too. Now out east it's cloud and showers throughout the day with a mix of southerly winds about. Now Masterton, your southerlies will ease in the evening, I'm happy to say. For the rest of the North Island, it'll be a fine day in Taranaki tomorrow, but everywhere else is in for a cloudy Tuesday with a side of those showers. Another mix of southerly winds here, easterlies though for Taumarunui. To the South Island now, and the west is where it is going to be cold but nice and sunny. Could be a spot of morning fog in Reefton and a bit of morning frost in Nelson. East and southeasterly winds here. Now Blenheim, you're also in for a fine day, but everywhere else here sees the return to that cloudy showery stuff. The showers should ease though from the afternoon. South and southwest winds here. Right down south now, and it'll be cold but sunny in beautiful Queenstown. Invercargill and Oban, your cloud will clear to fine once the afternoon hits, with the rest here in for a cloudy day with the odd shower about as well, and you've got a mixed bag of winds. To our main centres in Dunedin, you'll have southerlies first thing, easing before dawn. Then tomorrow's looking cloudy with showers easing in the afternoon. It's going to be a bit of the same in Christchurch, a mostly cloudy day with showers that become confined to Banks Peninsula in the Arvo. Your southerlies ease in the evening, and it's going to be a cloudy, showery day in the capital as well. You're going to have fresh at the southerlies, so my recommendation is to skip that walk to work if you were planning on it. And would you look at that, cloud and showers in Hawke's Bay tomorrow too, with sou'westers turning sou'easter for a time in the afternoon. Tauranga, you though are in for a mainly fine day, then the odd shower come evening. You've also got those southeasterly winds as well. Kirikiriroa, it's going to be a frosty start for you, Hamilton, then a cloudy day with those showers rolling in the evening. You've got sou'easters as well. Now sheltered places in Auckland will see morning frosts tomorrow, then it's going to be a sunny day paired with those cold sou'easterly winds. Tuesday sees showers from Sydney down and around to Adelaide across the ditch in Australia, and Fiji is saying farewell to the sunshine and hello to thunderstorms after a run of good weather. Now as to the rest of the week back home, that ridge of high pressure is going to remain the country's key weather feature for the week. So even though we're in for cold and frosty days, there will still be sunny skies and low amounts of rainfall. Now from Wednesday, we'll start to say goodbye to those cloudy, showery conditions as well, which is also when we see those southerly winds start to weaken. They will, however, keep the air cold for most of the week, and there should be snow top-ups for some of our ski fields too. So if you can, I'd plan for a sneaky late week ski day. And check out this snap, Stephen capturing the moon this morning as a plane takes off in Nelson. Just beautiful. Now that is 3 News for tonight. Thanks for joining us. You can stay up to date with the latest breaking news and information on stuff.co.nz. I'm Imogen Wells. Paul Martier. I'll see you again tomorrow.